They're now hot.
Go for it.
Yeah, can anybody hear me? Sounds pretty decent in the chat, or are we still sound about the same? We'll be talking like this the whole time. Keep going. 1, 2, 3, test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 1, 3, test. Test 1, 2, 3. Does that come through at all, or?
They're now hot.
Go for it.
Yeah, can anybody hear me? Sounds pretty decent.
What's up, everybody? Fabio here. Obviously, you notice Josh is not. This is a new thing for us, but we got Gray Fox here working the board and the computer, and I've wrangled in Marcus from out of town. He was our best general at Plains of War a couple weeks ago, so we're gonna be chatting with him, try and go through his head and see what he was thinking and doing over the course of the weekend at Plains of War. So we are season 6 of the Dusty Auspex, episode 11. Man, it's been 11 already. This is crazy. We're getting up there.
A lot of episodes.
We're going to have to take a break soon and go into season Season 7.
Yeah, change seasons up here.
Yeah.
We get so many episodes before people get burnt out, right?
Oh man, it's episode 322.
Just pull the Game of Thrones, cut your episodes to like 6, and
Yeah.
switch seasons every couple weeks. It's the best way to do it.
Let's not get into Game of Thrones.
Yeah, we'll pass on that
Yeah,
one.
no kidding, right? Not good.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously we're gonna pick Marcus's brain for the majority of this episode. We're gonna go through his games, wins, losses, draws. Talk about his opponents, what they played. He plays Tau, if you guys don't know, which is a Xenos army that has no allies. So
And no friends.
And no friends. No one likes to fish people.
No.
So it's a whole different perspective from his point of view, I think, versus people that play, Guard or Space Marine stuff where they got, a lot of more tools in the toolbox. So it'd be cool to go into that. But first, there's been a lot of chatter on the contrast paints.
Yeah, contrast paints are out.
And I dropped some memes today. Hope you guys like them. Found them wherever they were on the internet, either Instagram, Facebook. I shot some over the Brandon page, War Council, and the Wargaming page. What are your thoughts?
I like them. I think it's going to be good for my style of 40K anyway. I'm more of a player than a painter.
Okay.
So definitely it's going to be good to get up to that 3-color minimum. Really takes a lot of the time off your paint. I think definitely it's not going to get rid of the thin your paint sort of deal. The old standard, right? Make sure it's all good. But I think it's definitely another tool to throw in your toolbox, even for the really in-depth painters who are good at what they do now. I just think it's going to make it better.
No, for sure. I agree completely. I'm super on board. It's another tool in the toolbox. I'm a big advocate of having more things at our disposal. There's the haters out there. It's like, oh, it's not the old school way or the true way to paint and stuff like that. But I don't think there's a right and wrong way to paint. I think there's however you get to your end result and how you get your stuff on the table looking good is all that matters. Yeah. So that's super cool. Oh man, we got lots of guys in the chat. So guys in the chat, obviously give your feedback on the contrast. There's a shitload of colors.
Oh yeah,
obviously
tons of stuff. Yeah.
So which is really cool. There's I think they're relatively fair priced.
Yeah, and I mean they come out in a bigger pot, but I mean price is a little bit up there. But when you get one paint that has the same as a shade, everything a base, it works itself out. One thing I'm going to say, it's going to be interesting to see the next few months here how people adapt the contrast paints, doing their own little tricks.
Yeah.
Because, everyone can do crazy stuff with their airbrush paints and just normal paint. So what people can do with this contrast stuff.
How crazy would it be if someone started firing contrast paints through an airbrush and it actually worked?
It might be doable. You never know.
That'd be insane.
So it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
But yeah, so Matt's got a video up. Some guy's doing some work on his models. Looks like using a contrast paint on YouTube. So the one I saw that was really interesting was someone tried to use a blue on a rhino, I think it was. And I don't know if they didn't apply it right or use it right, but they just went right on the base, the plastic. And it was interesting. He needed 3 layers just to get rid of streaks. And I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of concerning. So I don't know if there's something to say about, you need to have a darker, base coat before applying it, or if there's some kind of trick to it. But
I mean, that's one thing that's always, you should always base coat your models first anyway. I mean, some people like the whole paint on plastic for first time painters, they just don't know.
Yeah.
But definitely throw a base coat on it, takes 10 seconds, just air bomb it and
be done with it.
Be done with it.
No, absolutely. I 100% agree.
Just kind of sub Zarbeast there in the chat, and that's one thing I want to note that I recall you do play orcs, so contrast paints for orcs, horde armies like that is going to be a game changer.
What do people used to do, right?
Yeah.
Dip,
right? But now with this, it's just quick brush on. You can finish your 150 boys in a matter of an evening.
Yeah.
It's going to be
what a time to be alive.
Yeah.
If Eric only started his orcs
now. I don't know. He takes time. Each model's individual.
I know, and that was what was so crazy. But even that though, you can get them to a decent quality, and then, at the very end, you start making those fine details. Right? It's not like you're having to start from scratch and do everyone individually from basically a base coat, which is just exhausting.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Especially when they get moved off the table that fast.
Yeah, you just see the whole squad get wiped out, and you kind of feel a little heartbroken.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I'm gonna kind of pose to you here, I don't really know much. I haven't done much of the judging. How do you think this is gonna affect paint scores at tournaments and events?
Yeah, no, very fair. Actually, we got this question before, and it's totally fine because it's a very good question. Because now that I've seen them and stuff, I don't think it's going to change it at all. Because the way this isn't a contest that you have the model like 6 inches from your face, right? And you're really scrutinizing it. You're looking at it as a tabletop army. You're looking at it from a distance. So if this is a way to get color on your models and then build up from that point versus starting from a base coat and brushing all these extra colors on, it's really no different. I think because you can see, like, I've seen some people like posting pictures of them and they have like so many different colors on, and that doesn't, the contrast puts more colors on them, but doesn't make it look better.
Make it look better, right?
There's still some skill required. There's still some technique to it.
Yeah.
So I don't think it will, make people instantly good painters, but I do think from an aesthetic perspective, walking up to a table and seeing more colors on armies and them looking more to a tabletop standard or to a finished standard, I think is just overall better.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. That's definitely be an interesting thing to see.
Yeah, so it'll be cool. It helps with the 3-color minimum. That's usually seems to be something that people struggle with. It's like, oh, what's the minimum? Like, and now it's like, is primer a color? It's like, yes,
Black
but now
color in a wash.
Yeah, but now you can get away from that. You hit it with a white primer now always, and then you just pluck a few other colors with the contrast and maybe a quick dry brush. I mean, you're laughing. So it's really cool. Anyway, so it's cool. They're great. The pictures that have been coming out of them with them is amazing. Like some of the bases that have been quickly washed over with them. Essentially, some of the colors just look fantastic. They're very vibrant, which is really cool.
I think bases are gonna see a real jump here with this paint now too. It's less tedious. I think people don't want to put a lot of time into their base. Yeah. So I mean, now if you can do a really awesome looking base with this paint,
very little time. Yeah. No, I'm excited because I got to redo all my Necrons.
That's a bit of a tall order.
I think I had to let Logan know what power level I have in Necrons, and I think I was like 21. I think it was like 2100 power level.
That's that's quite.
So like I have a lot of Necrons to base, so this might help ease the pain.
Just get that right contrast color.
Yeah.
Just one quick go over and a bit.
Yeah, one thick coat. One thick coat.
Yeah. Needs Duncan anymore.
Yeah, Duncan. Duncan.
Over.
Yeah, you're done, man.
Yeah,
your segment's over.
You're done, buddy.
So I guess that can kind of tie us into the next thing: hobby projects. Hobby projects in games since POW. You done any of either?
I've been doing a bit of the hobby in games after all my tournaments, and I know just looking at Bizarre Beast there, he says he played another 6-man. That props to you, man. I take a solid hiatus after any big tournament for a good week or two, playing games, just kind of decompress and let it be. But no, I'm starting to dig into the world of Custodes now.
Oh, shoot.
I got my 6 Forge World Terminators came in the other day.
Okay.
So I got them all built up, and they're
waiting for their contrast paint.
Waiting for the contrast paint. Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Run a bit of that one coat.
Awesome.
So yeah, they should. Hopefully, they perform as well in the tabletop as they look. It is a beefy model. Yeah. I was really impressed. It's a unit.
Really?
It's not just a normal Terminator. Most Terminators are pretty imposing models, but these guys are a unit.
And so, are you going pure?
Yeah, straight pure Custodes.
Wow.
List. Yeah, that's
no friends. Okay,
no,
cool.
I don't like. I play Tau and Custodes. I don't like having friends.
Okay.
Going straight 1v1.
So what kind of list? Obviously, I assume you built a list prior to you starting to purchase models.
Yeah. So my Custodes list has kind of fallen.
Are you allowed to divulge this information?
I can. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah,
you've heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, I'm always pretty chill with how that stuff goes with lists and stuff. I'm shifting a little bit away from what I think the Custodes meta is right now, which would be the grav tanks, the drop ships, and just the long range firepower with some bikes.
Okay.
So I'm going more for, I got the 6 Aquilin Custodes, which are the Forge World Terminators.
Okay.
They're going to be in Deep Strike with Valoris. So getting the rerolls, 1s to hit and 1s to wound. So hopefully getting them in a good charge range. It should give me 24 strength 10 -4 D3 damage, hitting on 2s, wounding on 3s, on big things.
And re-rolling ones.
Re-rolling ones on that, so it's kind of a nuke squad.
Okay.
They should be able to get in there. I'll be having 3 shield captains on bikes with another 5 bikes.
Okay.
That's going to be just on the table for us. Going to have the -1 hit Vexilla.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
you don't have a lot of models for Custodes.
What made you want to jump into Custodes?
I've played Tau since 8th, started a little bit into 7th. They were very shooting, pretty mobile, that kind of thing. I don't like touching people with Tau. But Custodes is the exact opposite. I want to get in there and
get in your face,
kind of play a little bit. I still don't like the psychic phase apparently, so I don't get that in either army.
It's not safe. Yeah, avoid that phase.
Avoid that. So, but no, it should be good. Like I definitely like the play style. I like the small model count.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can put a lot of time. It's more my showcase army. This
Sure.
one.
Okay.
So I'm definitely putting a lot more time into the army. So the contrast paints are going to help me a little bit. But I still think I'm going to go back to that standard, thin your paints, wash everything through, and take the time with models. There's only 15.
Only 15. No, that's cool. That's good.
Yeah, that's kind of my Custodes theory for right now. Tau, I'm just kind of sticking with that list as is. It's working pretty
it's
good.
Not broke, don't fix it, right?
It's again, it's kind of off meta, but
no, for sure. So well, that's cool. But so today we're gonna get to more pick your brain regarding how you did it, PAL.
Yeah, awesome.
So for those who don't know, Marcus, this is the first time this actually happened. So we're going to be changing this up actually starting next year because
I broke it.
Marcus broke the game. No, but it's cool. Honestly, it's great. This was another aspect that we weren't really expecting to see, but we did see, and it was honestly, it was really cool. It was cool to see. I was really pumped about it. So for those who look at the standings, it shows Brendan at the top, and Brendan scored the most ITC points for winning all his games. But when it came to our best general is based on the battle points, which Marcus, despite going 4-1-1, right?
Yeah, 4-1-1.
4-1-1.
Didn't even go 5-1.
Sniped the best general spot because he was able to, even in defeat and drawing, was able to pick up so many more battle points in those rounds. So let's kind of go through it. Let's first go through your list a little bit. Some of the big punches in your list, some of like your I don't know, the sweep spots in it, and then maybe let's break down each game a little bit, if you can, from what you can recall, maybe who you played, what you played, and like obstacles you had to overcome, whoops moments, just like whatever, like anything that big that came up. That'd be okay. So let's go with that. I'll leave. Floor's yours.
Right on. We'll start with the list. So I mean, I'm gonna give away my best kept secret that I see everyone doesn't really know when I bring it. The Yavara is one of my best kept secrets on that list. It's a Riptide variant, but it's got an 18-inch move, 14-inch flamer. He's got a strength 10, 3d3 shot, flat 3 damage, Melta. Essentially, it's a vehicle killer.
Okay.
He's my cornerstone. He clears out a target I want to kill. So I've talked about that more. It really came out in my third game. He worked hard for me. I do find I get pretty aggressive with him, and he loses. He falls out. I think I lost him in every game I played, except the third game, which he did work. I run 2 Riptides, 6 5-man Fire Warrior squads. One of them has pistols because I had 4 extra points. Then I run a 7-man Pathfinder squad with 2 ion rifles in them, so it's a 9-man total. And then a 6 marker light and 2 ion rifle. So I like throwing those ion rifles in there. It's a strength 8. It's a flat 2 damage, kind of like a poke. Just it's a little bit of threat range to throw at Pathfinders who are usually just a null target. Then the other big hitters on my list, I have 2 quad fusion Cold Star commanders, which they can cover a lot of distance, and 4 Melta guns hitting on 2s. They're pretty solid. And then I have my Daka commander, which I've just kind of thrown pretty much everything you can think on him. He's got a heavy burst cannon, which if you guys don't know, Tau for burst cannons are essentially strength 5, AP dash, 1 damage weapons. So he gets 12 shots of that. He gets D6 shots of a strength 6, -2 D6 shots weapon that ignores line of sight, and he gets 2 shots of a strength 7, -1 D3 damage. So he's got threat ranges to target anything. You go elite infantry, stuff he can't see, lots of hordes.
And I guess the beauty of not having to, the beauty of split firing now, you can,
you can,
you're not limited in giving up some of those shots to pick, one unit. So
Yeah.
that's invaluable, I'd imagine.
Definitely. The one thing I do that whenever I tell people, they're like, "Wow, that's it." I only run 11 drones in my list. So I have 5 drones that are my Tau Sept. So drones are very Sept oriented, so they only work for the Sept. So I have my 5 drones are designed for my Riptides, and I have 6 drones divided for my Yavara. So the Yavara is a little bit squishier. He doesn't quite have the inbones the Riptides do, but that's kind of what it takes. They take the shots I need. It's a lot of squads. I take them in 2-man squads each, and one man for my Tau Sept. So that's 6 squads. That's 6 units killed. I expect in ITC to give up kill more first turn every time, because if they don't kill the drones, or if they kill all the drones, that's fine. I still get a full round of shooting.
Okay.
But it is what it is. It's kind of one of the necessary sacrifices I need to make to keep my suits going throughout the whole game. So that's kind of a rundown of my list. If anyone got questions, just toss in the chat. I can come back to that. First game I played Jordan Nicolasian. It was on the stream table actually. That was it was a really good game. I haven't played Jordan before. That was the first time I played him. He does battle report type ups and really awesome guy to play.
In depth on certain units and new codexes and
really awesome guy to play. He played a really awesome chaos list. He brought some Helldrakes. Haven't seen them in a while, so that's always fun. I managed to get first turn on him, and like I said, that Yavara does work for me. He went and cleared out 2 of the Helldrakes first turn.
Oh wow!
He's a big threat presence. People see him, it's a oh shit moment. Gotta deal with this now.
So you find a lot of people underestimate what it does until after it pretty much blows a huge hole in their army, and then it's like, oh shit.
Pretty much. Like, I mean, people kind of are weary of it, and then they think they can either null deploy it. It's one of those units that's really hard to null deploy. It's got a 36-inch threat range, where anything within that it's killing.
36-inch threat range,
as in the move
and
shoot and all that stuff.
So essentially, if you start it kind of in the middle of your deployment zone, it's actually double that.
Yeah, and I can get it to really anywhere on the table, like 36-inch radius there.
Yeah.
It can move. It also has the ability to shoot itself up at deep strike after my first turn, then come back down my start of my next turn.
Oh wow!
So I'll lose a turn shooting with it, but I can get rid of it and bring it back down.
You can really mess somebody up with it.
He can just pop down and do his thing.
That's actually pretty nails, actually. I didn't know that. Okay.
He's very mobile. It causes a lot of troubles in the backfields. My Riptides are just iron walls for me. In that game with Jordan, I think I didn't lose a Riptide. They just stood in the middle ground, just kept killing infantry, killing his elite infantry.
And your burst cannons and missiles?
Burst cannons, smart missiles, yeah. So they both run heavy burst. When I Nova Charge them, I'll give 1 the shield and weapon, and I'll give 1 just the shield.
Okay.
So when you Nova Charge, you can use the stratagem to make one 18 shots instead of 12, which is, that extra 6 shots is nice. That's strength 6, -2, flat 2, which right now I'm thinking that -2 and the flat 2 damage is kind of the sweet spot when you're fighting any elite infantry sort of deal. It gets right to the invulnerable save, and it still does enough to pop a Terminator a turn.
Sure.
Or a wound that gets through. So against Jordan, it was a really hard fought game. He actually got some of his guys in, wrapped my Fire Warriors, and if you've played against Tau, you've got I can't fight him out of combat. I was actually surprised. I did kill a few Space Marines with Tau slap fighting, but the one thing that helped me in that one is the one rule for Tau there was if I elect not to fight, my opponent can choose how the combat goes. So I had him down to that last unit. He had me wrapped up. I didn't think there was a way I could table him. I was going to win the game. So I said, nope, I don't want to fight. And he had Headhunter, and I had 2 of my characters in there. So for him, it's a no-brainer to get as many points as he can, and just killed me out of combat.
Sure.
And then I just turned my Riptides around, and we finished the game there.
Okay, versus
him just wrapping me up. He got more points. I got more points. It was his call. He didn't have to kill my guys out.
Yeah.
But I put the ball in his court. Like,
right.
How do you want to do this?
And it was still more advantageous for him.
He knew he wasn't winning. He wasn't going to get any more points. I would have lost out on a few points, but he kind of wanted. It's him looking out for his game as well.
Sure.
Knowing that it's not going to change how it works.
If he's still getting the loss, he may as well go out with the most points he possibly can.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and that's
absolutely.
ITC. I mean, if this weekend, or I guess last week, 2 weekends?
2 weekends.
2 weekends ago, wow.
It's been a little while.
I've fallen off the face of the earth. If that's taught anybody anything, it's fight for every point. Don't concede on any point you can. If you can get as many points as you can, go for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely, never concede in ITC games.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And that's why, like, there's a few people that, like, I'd hear them concede and stuff. I was like, no, like, you go to 0.
Yeah. I'll touch that on my last game.
Okay,
my last game was kind of interesting with that.
So that was your first game.
That was my first game.
So that was awesome. A W.
I think I was 36 points on that one.
Okay. It was pretty high. Yeah. Do you have this? Do you have the scores up? Oh, okay. So we got the scores up. So we're gonna be in the smaller screen, but keep the scores up. So yeah, go for it. Let it rip.
See if I can remember all these.
Well, they'll pop up there too. Right. So.
Perfect. Yeah, second game I played against Noah Joseph. I played against him at Wheat City Open.
Okay.
He played his Tau there too, so that was a Tau v Tau fight. Noah is honestly one of my favorite players to play against. Awesome guy. I think he brought a foot Eldar list.
Yes, all Auspex.
Yeah, he had everything, every Eldar thing, and I don't know Eldar from the hole in the head, but he was awesome. Explained them all to me. That game really came down to one crucial mistake, and he had me for a bit. He deep striked his guys with melt-a-guns, essentially. I'm not sure the
fire dragons.
Dragons, and some guys with wings.
Swooping Hawks.
Yeah. Right behind my lines. He fired his fire dragons first, which are his melt-guns, into my suits, and I had drones.
Oh, no.
So he essentially lost the punch with that.
Yeah, he should have the he told me about that. Now this makes sense. He was telling me about this. I was like, what? But okay.
That was the big turning point where I cleared out his hit back. He got the hit first, actually charged in, and he was a little too effective in combat. He wrapped one of my Pathfinder units, but there was one guy left, and I failed the morale. So I killed myself out of combat, and I could shoot him.
Okay.
Because those Banshees were getting into my lines, and they were just going to roll through.
Especially when they can't recharge, or you can't overwatch.
Yeah. So that's
right. That's your nightmare.
That's my nightmare. So he knew he wanted to get in and do some damage, but he was a little too effective.
Yeah.
And killed himself out of combat, which you know what, it is what it is. I was pretty happy with that.
Okay.
So then I got punched back pretty hard. Riptides did some work, cleared out some Dark Reapers, which I knew right off the bat were going to hurt.
Need to get rid of those, yeah.
Yavara went and cleared out his Shining Spears, which that's what he does, right? The flat 3 damage, killing 3 wound models, is perfect. Get 1 through on the invuln, and it just
goes
through.
Yeah.
And then he came back with the Fire Dragons, and the Swooping Hawks there came in. That little mistake, I got to punch back real hard, and just cleared that off, and then from there it was just kept moving forward and just advancing up the table.
Foot off the gas.
Yeah, so I think that one I actually got a 40-point win on that one. It should be on the list.
Yeah, I think so.
There.
Do you have the 40 to 16? Yeah.
40.
Wow, that's
and
for almost being taken out in that game. That's a pretty big discrepancy in points.
Yeah, it was. But even I was actually pretty impressed with the 16 points. He fought hard for those points. He did well. No, it was a really fun game.
Very cool.
Then my third game I played Ben Sink, and this is where the Yavara really showed its mettle a little bit for me. I don't know if you guys know, Ben was running 3 knights and the Rusty 17, but he had like 22.
Okay.
Guys. He was running 3 knights. It was doing really well up into it. Took out Sean Clancy's Thousand Suns, which was actually really surprising. Sean Clancy does usually really well against knights. Solid list, really, really well played. The table we had kind of made a bottleneck, and I had my gun line set up there. He brought him in. He didn't do too much in the Trojan. Oh, he had 3 shield captains too. That was the one thing. I'm missing some points here. But, no, he got right up in the lines, killed a bit of my infantry. My suits were left as is. He just didn't have the number of shots to clear drones and big suits. And then first turn, the Yavara came up and killed his 1 gallant just by itself. It does its thing. And then my Riptides and some infantry actually killed the other gallant. So in 1 turn, I killed the 2 knights and 2 shield captains on bikes, I want to think, with just small arms fire.
Do I dare ask if anything exploded and did other wounds to him?
Actually, nothing exploded. I was really, really happy about that.
Wow, okay.
That usually causes me some issues.
Okay.
I was hoping the 1 would. It had just a couple shield captains there. But yeah, it was he was a really good player, played it really well. And then as soon as he dropped those knights, he just couldn't get through my drone support. When you don't have the volume of fire to chunk small drone squads off, you're kind of stuck. And the Yavara just walked and cooked the rest.
Did what it does best.
Yeah, I think that was a 35-point win on that one.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was a really good game.
3 for 3 so far. You got it.
3 for 3, I'm guessing. So that was day 1. I went out of day 1 3-0. That was pretty good. Had some brewskis that night, which was always fun.
Yeah, no, that was good. That's honestly, I don't know what to do. I think I gotta make a note about that so people know that we are there. There's a full intent to go out on the Saturday night.
Oh yeah.
But no, it's good. We had most of the guys out, so that was.
Yeah, that was good. I think
that was good.
Good 20.
Yeah, 25, 30 almost.
Yeah, it was solid.
Yeah, no, it was really good. So anyway,
yeah.
Fourth game
against Brennan. Handed me my first loss of the tournament. His Astromil. I played him at Wheat City Open, and we had a very similar response.
Okay.
As this game kind of happened the same. He actually got first turn on me, and I seized.
Okay.
Which this was supposed to be the deal breaker. I seized on him. It was like, all right, this is the game.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think I was talking to you a bit before the chat. I get a little bit aggressive with my units that I should hold back. He runs Astromil Tarm, and my commanders chew through their armor. The -4 goes right through. They got no save. So me, pretty stoked getting first turn. The Yavara and both my commanders, I have a thing I can mock cost so they can advance and shoot as if normal. So moved them all up, got the advance right up in his face. I killed 2 tank commanders with the Yavara, just doing his thing. I killed a Wyvern with another Cold Star commander. The big thing that chewed with me is I failed to kill one with my other commander, which theoretically should have. My Warlord commander should have been able to kill a Manticore.
Okay.
That Manticore did work, killed the commander. It ended up chunking a lot of wounds off of my Yavara right off the start.
Okay.
So yeah, that was kind of one of the things that was rough for me. He hit me back hard. Took out, I think in his first turn, all 3 of my commanders and the Yavara.
Wow, that's
which for me that's my anti-armor. My Riptides aren't designed for anti-armor. They're just kind of volume of fire. But in saying that, my first thing is I killed everything that could hurt me. His battle cannons, his Manticore died in my next turn without doing too much more. So yeah, I had to deal with anything that was going to really hurt my big suits.
Sure.
And that game turned down to my 2 Riptides and my infantry characters holding the center of the table, and 1 drone holding an objective to give me 2 objectives. I was getting bonus on a couple, just back and forth. Holding the center, and he couldn't shoot them off. I think I had 4 rounds of his entire army shooting at 1 Riptide.
Wow.
And he finished up with 4 wounds on the Riptide. It took until he got his Psychers up and just started smiting my Riptides down. I have no smite defense on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, by the time he got the smites up there, it finished the bottom of turn 6. So we played it out. That's how I managed to get I think 25 points on that one. So it was a pretty soft loss, but definitely if I would have played it a little bit more conservatively with my commanders, maybe dropped the 1 commander a little bit farther back and put both commanders. They have an 18-inch range on their Melta, so there's no need for me to get in that 9 inches for the double tap range.
Okay.
Which is why I was a little bit aggressive there. Throw the Yavara away, because that's kind of his deal. Throw him away, pop the 2 tank commanders that are going to hurt me. Yeah. And then, slide back with the commanders and maybe pop the Manticore. Just kind of hide them a little bit, keep them maybe for that turn 2, 3 to get in on his Wyverns and on his other tank commanders and stuff. Really clear that armor up. The one thing I really like to keep is my 1 commander with all the fusion blasters is awesome at killing infantry characters. Okay. So he's got the 20-inch move. He can pop himself in the center of a good infantry squad there, character blob, and put burst cannons into this one, supernova into another one, missile pod into another one, and reliably pick up probably 2 out of the 3 I target.
Really?
Wow. So it's good for getting some kills here, and I mean, he can still do his charges in there. Commanders aren't great in melee, but I mean, they're better than my other Tau suits. I can always fall back out of combat and shoot if they don't kill him. Okay. So definitely he is advantageous in certain ways.
Okay, so that game you lost.
Yeah.
So by the sounds of it, you were in good shape. Obviously, Brendan was pushing back. So where was the turn in that game? Like
his first turn hit back. Okay. Really kind of put me on I was really surprised how well he hit back there. Okay. He took out anything I had to kill his Wyverns were in the far corner. I mean, guard artillery has all the range. Yeah. So they were in the far corner. By killing all my mobile, like super mobile stuff, I couldn't really get back there and reliably get rid of them. My Riptides are strength 6 weapons, so I'm going to be wounding a lot of that on 5s. Not ideal. If I had commanders, I can bump that up and get rerolls, but my commanders are all dead. So commanders are also a good support unit for me. I can use a lot of stratagems to improve my shooting. They can really just focus one unit down. If Tau is good at anything, it's picking one unit and getting rid of it. So that's again like against Ben, he had 3 really big threat units. So I can pick 1, possibly 2 of them, and get rid of them reliably. It's Tau who really struggle when there's a lot of small, dangerous units around.
Okay. So, yeah, threat overload.
Exactly. Yeah, threat overload is
sure.
But no, it was a good game. It was well played, and it was a slugfest right down to the end.
Good.
So it was fun.
Good.
But yeah, and then I think my next game I played Matt Czar came all the way out from Kelowna.
Yeah,
it's a long trip. It was nice to see him come out. That was a hard fought game. There was a lot of contention between, and rightly so on both sides, right? It was getting right to those top table games.
Sure. Every inch matters.
Yeah, every inch matters. Like I said, every point matters. You want to get all those points. That game turned into just a bloodbath. First turn, Yavara came up. Didn't really do what I wanted him to. He killed a few low point models. He got chewed up with the Relic Shock Attack, which is one of the Orcs' big hitters.
Okay.
So actually that game, the Relic Shock Attack did really well the first turn. And then to me, I don't know what Matt was feeling about it, but it was kind of whiffing throughout the rest. He was getting a lot of strength 3s, not really killing much with it. But definitely his Ludas were working hard, killing a lot of my infantry. Again, that game left me down to 2 Riptides and 2 commanders, pretty much, and a few infantry characters at the end there just holding it on. Again, holding the middle of the board, just shooting what I can, getting kill 1, hold 1. Now, the one mistake where I'm thinking back to it now, a little bit of a kick, is last turn I had kill 1, I'm holding more than him right now. Because I'm holding 3 and he's holding 2, which, you know, we can contest on that if he kills something. That's fine. I went up real aggressive with my 1 commander and my 2 Riptides.
Okay.
And he actually got 2 kills on that. He smited both my drones that followed up. So that gave him, I think, 4 points for me benefiting 1. So it was a 3-point swing there for a tie, which if I'm looking back at now, I had the time, you know, just do a points count. And I've heard this before when it comes down to those last games and they're close, if it's your last turn and you're doing really well, it's a close game, ask if you have the time, keep it on your time, do a points count. If you're winning there, or if you get the bottom of your turn and you're winning, you know, call your turn, you're done. You don't need to make those risky plays if you're going to be up.
Yeah.
So if I would have done that, figured out, you know what, even if he does this, this, and this, I'm still going to be up a certain amount of points, or force him to make the risky plays to get up those points or to tie or to get the win.
Sure.
It was a few mistakes on that, but it was a hard fought game. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's actually a very interesting point. That's something that's not brought up a lot, and it's definitely something I think is important for people to consider. And you basically explained it very well. It's just sometimes you do more than you need to, and you find yourself overextended and or actually in a position where you're giving up more points than you would have if you just sat still and just said, I don't need this, I can ignore this phase for this turn.
But I mean, hindsight in that, I did get the 1 extra point, which put me, I don't know how many points I was above Brendan there for top general, but like you said, fight for every point.
Sure.
It wasn't my intention just to throw away the wins, losses.
Oh, I see.
But I mean, I did get the extra point on my play.
Yeah, that's fair.
It is what it is, but when you go into a tournament, you're always thinking the ITC wins, losses. That's kind of how it goes, right?
No, for sure. And that I think is just, it's just another dynamic to the game to consider, right? Yeah. Like, where do you think you're going to go? There's a lot to consider, and there's a huge there's a lot when you're thinking about the game and you just want to keep going forward. You just want to keep rolling as many dice. You want to shoot as many things as possible.
And that's the thing. It's a game, right? You want to get out and you want to have fun with it. You want to all right, my big guy's coming in. He's going to hit your guy now. All right, but now I'm going to do this. And oh, well, that didn't really work too good for me, did it? But I mean, yeah, it's definitely, I see in the chat here, even in the last minute of football there, they take a knee. Yeah, it's the same concept, right?
Yeah.
If you're up, just play it out and you got it.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely I got lucky on that shock attack gun. It was hitting real low, but it is what it is. It can go both ways. I mean, dice shut down awful quick.
Hell yeah, they do.
They can pick up awful quick.
Or they can just never show up.
They can just never show up. I mean, yeah, that's one.
Looking at you, Charles. Oh, man, that guy's got the worst luck. I can't even.
He's got to play our guy from Brandon there. He's got some.
That would be amazing. Just have the two of them. Whose dice can be worse?
Whose dice? Dan's dice are rough.
That's funny.
So, but yeah. And then my last game. I want to say it was a good game. It really wasn't. It was. Excuse me. I play against Corey Trowbridge fairly often. He's from Brandon out there, and I mean, awesome guy to play against. Super fun guy.
Corey's a good dude.
Awesome, yeah. He runs I Want That Stuff. Does really good promos.
Nice plug.
Not that I'm plugging that in.
No, he's a sponsor. You can do that. Go nuts.
Yeah, no, so
boom.
Definitely awesome for that. He played his Dark Angels, which I mean, Dark Angels you don't see much in the competitive site right now. And he's doing fairly well with them. I think he did fairly well through the tournament. He finished 3-3. I like to say our last game was a mulligan game. It wasn't really much. We've played my list versus his theory list here. Or he tweaked it a little bit. But we've played these lists before, and we kind of know how it goes. If I go first, it's not a game. If he goes first, it's kind of a game. Sure. I went first. He runs a Repulsor, a Daredeo. I think he has 9 Hellblasters in the Repulsor, Azrael, some quad guns, and just basic stuff like that.
Sure.
So first turn was an absolute massacre. Commanders came in, killed his Dark Shroud, which gives me a -1 hit, which is a pretty big hit on Tau. A -1 hit kind of hurts them.
Because you don't have a lot of marker lights, right?
No, I don't. I bring a fair few, but Tau's base ballistic score is 4.
Right.
So you get -1, you're on 5s now, so it's a little rough. The Yavara came in and completely cooked the Repulsor. He popped everybody out of it, which it is what it is. Didn't quite kill the Daredeo, which I was kind of expecting it to, but it made a fair few of its saves there. That, I think, was the extent of Corey's dice. That's where they gave up on him.
Well, actually, I was standing over that table for a bit, and yeah, he was just like, he couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I can't. It's one thing to, make a misplay or, your dice kind of leave you at certain points, but just consistently in your turn and your opponent's turn, your dice just not doing it for you in any way, shape, or form. And
I'll be the first to admit my dice were cooking that game. A lot of shots in his turn. He said, I didn't kill as much as I wanted the first turn. I did kill the big threats I need to get rid of. Took a few of his Deathwing Terminators out, which are a big threat unit. But his first turn shooting back, I think he killed 2 drones. Ugh. On my saves. We're just making them. Shooting into the suits, I was making the 2-up, 5-ups, the feel no pains on the drones. And it just couldn't go any worse that way.
I just played Logan this last Friday, yeah, or Saturday or something like that. And yeah, he plays the big tuna with all those drones, and it was the same thing. It's like, it's demoralizing when you get big rolls on that thing, and it's just like, up goes to a drone, up goes to a drone. Yeah. So I can only imagine, like, you're getting some punch, and then all of a sudden it's just like, not only it goes to the drone, but the drone shrugs it off
and just ignores it.
It just ignores it completely. You're just like,
yeah.
Ugh.
The theory of and I'm guessing Clanky 304. That's Clancy.
Probably.
He's got that. I steal the initiative against him almost every game we play. Actually, only once, and I lost that game.
I told you you gotta use that same dice every time. Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah, only once. But no, back to that. Like, I mean, it was bad roll. Like, dice just are dice sometimes. That's what it is. I felt bad. It wasn't fun for Corey. It wasn't fun for myself. But again, in ITC, you're going to play for the points.
Play for the points, yeah.
I talked to Corey a little bit after that, and I will give him all credit where credit is due. He was salty, which is it's fair, but he wasn't to the point where he conceded. Because if he conceded, I would have lost. I think I was 36 points that game. I'd have lost 16 points. Because a concession is a 20-0 win. That's it.
Yeah.
If your opponent concedes, you win 20-0.
So your fate was kind of in his hands.
It was. If he got to the point where he was just like, no, I'm done. We concede. He takes the 0 points. But he wants as many points as he can get.
Yeah.
He takes the 0 points and I get the 20. It's a completely different story. I'm not sitting here.
Yeah. Well, you might be still sitting here,
Yeah,
but yeah, no, it's definitely very interesting. And
so yeah, it was good. It was really fun.
That's good.
The whole weekend was awesome. It was run great by you guys. Everything was set up. It was an awesome room. We had lots of space. That's the one complaint I usually have about a tournament is back-to-back bumping. You're worried. I mean, we put way too much money into these models, and you set them on the edge of a table. People are walking by.
This is my nightmare.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking. But no, we had tons of room. It wasn't too hot. Props to everyone I played. Everybody showered.
Hey!
It was a nice, like, I mean, that's one thing after day 2, game 7 or 6, you're feeling like that. You get that whiff coming through.
Oh yeah, there's a few guys that definitely missed the mark there, but
I mean, yeah, it's for the most part, I didn't hear any complaints on that. It was a really fun event. Yeah, I was really happy with how it turned out. The list performed really well. A few mistakes on my part that hopefully I won't make again, but I know I'm going to because that's how this game goes.
Nah.
You make the same mistakes over and over until you change.
Change armies. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, yeah, that's one way to deal with mistakes. Or you just keep buying the same army after selling it.
Yeah, you know, it is what it is.
Been there.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, that was essentially my Plains of War. That was the first Plains of War I've been to.
Really?
I was not the last one, so this is
oh
my
shit!
First
Popping
time.
the cherry.
Yeah, first time. It was fun.
Cool.
Whole plan there was to get the best opponent. Didn't get that. Kind of miffed, but you know, is what it is.
No, that was
Mark. He was awesome. I watched a couple of his games, and it goes to good players, right? Everyone. I don't think there was any bad players there.
No, you know what? Most people are pretty good. Like it's you got to be pretty janky to like.
And I mean, that's not even for me what constitutes a bad game. You know what? There can be some hot rules like contest stuff, and you know what? I'm still gonna have a good game. Yeah. It's when, for me, a poor opponent is someone who, and I'm not saying let off the gas when you're winning because that's not what you do in this, but you can come off nicely when you're winning, and you can win with grace, you can lose with grace, kind of thing. I mean, everyone gets salty, everyone gets a little bit tilted when stuff goes the wrong way. That's fine. It gets to a point though where it's like, you know what, you're making a poor environment for everyone.
Yeah.
It is a game. That's how I play it. It's a game. I like the game. I play the game. That's what it's meant for. Definitely there's a room for competitive. You go into a tournament, you're playing competitive.
Yeah.
But don't let competition get in the way of having fun. That's the one thing I'll say to anybody who wants to listen, and if you ask me how I like to play tournaments, it's don't let competition get in the way of a good time. Go out for beers on the Saturday.
Yeah.
Be a little hungover.
Eases the tension a little bit.
Oh, yeah,
puts you in a different setting with people. Makes it a little easier.
You got to give OV props for being that hungover and playing out through his whole games.
Yeah.
Even getting the spoon, he was pretty stoked.
He got that spoon. I've never seen. He has never done that poorly. Like he is. I don't know what it is, but
I'm pretty sure the liquor was influencing a little bit the last few
Heck, him and Steve, they partied hard Saturday night. Steve made it to game 4, but game 5 was game 5. No, he was gone.
I talked to him on the way out there, and he was like, he's just done. He's feeling
really?
pretty hard. Yeah, he was hurting.
I messaged him on like the Tuesday after the event. I'm like, hey, big guy, how's it going? So, no, he is in good spirits, so that's all good, whatever.
That's the thing, right? It's a fun event, everyone enjoyed themselves, and it went well, so.
Yeah, oh, man.
Oh, come on, that's coming from you, Homer.
Yeah, I thought Homer was older.
I'm pretty sure he is.
What, older than Clancy or older than Ovi, though? Maybe both?
I don't know who's older than that. It might be a chat poll.
I think Ovi's the youngest out of 3 of them, and then I think it goes
Can we
Clancy?
start a poll on that? And
I don't know if we can do a poll. No, it's okay.
All right, maybe for another. That might be a Facebook thing to do.
Yeah, that's good. But yeah, no. So I think the biggest thing for next year, I think I'm gonna strip the tickets down and not do any of the extra stuff and leave that all separate. And I was thinking of actually just including the lunches.
See, an included lunch might be something solid to me. People do like to go out for a lunch there.
And that's kind of.
I wonder if like an option. like when you pick up your tickets, say like, hey, I want lunch on day 1 or day 2, and do like a checklist sort of thing?
Yeah, see, that would be tough because it has to. In order to make it worthwhile for people, it has to be buffet, and then you need to hit a certain number, right? Yeah. So if you don't get those numbers, then it's like it kind of gets messy. Mm-hmm. So it'd have to be like the same. It'd have to be like overwhelming majority or not at all, which I find like, so that's always a tough thing. And I know a lot of people are picky about what they eat, or you know, they might not finish at the same time. So it's always one of those things like, I want to include lunch in a buffet lunch, but it's just like,
yeah, you can't run that. Maybe that's a crowdsourcing thing to throw in there. So
no, for sure. Yeah. No, thinking about stuff for next year, so I'm excited already thinking about it. So I just gotta, I don't know, just gonna keep doing it, just keep grinding it out. Yeah. But yeah, so quick little, a lot of doubles coming up. You know, bunker busters and stuff. We got doubles. We got Apocalypse. We got Prairie Con coming up this weekend. I think there's still some spots left. There's the event page. Check it out. John Cullen is running it. He is taking the reins, so I can actually. Scott, I think, is going out. I think producer Josh is going out, and I am going out. We're all playing on different teams, so that's pretty dope. So we're pretty pumped about that. So that's this weekend at Prairie Con. So if you're able to make it out, you know, grab a group and drive out.
It's a pretty solid venue. I was there last year. I can't unfortunately make it this year, but yeah, I know. Last year it's in a good space. There's lots of room.
I'll pick up the towel slack.
Yeah, there we go. Fabio's got it. Lots
Don't laugh at me, Matt.
Lots of other things going on. It's kind of like a Comic-Con event sort of deal there. So there's always lots of stuff to go on in between games, but definitely good venue. Does get a little warm, so remember the whole shower rule.
Shower twice, sniff once.
Exactly.
No, good. And then so then obviously next for us we got the expo. So we're trying to get a bunch of different games out. That's the hope. So we're gonna see how that goes. But obviously our primary is the doubles for 40K, which will be a build up to Twin Eagles in October.
That's gonna be a good event.
So it should be good. Honestly, we're not doing it at the convention. As if you don't know, C4 is not a thing anymore, which is unfortunate. But so we're gonna be outsourcing and probably gonna be at the Legion on Osborne. We had a great time there last time around, and you know, cheap booze, whole place is or adult beverages, I guess. I don't know what you can say. Are we live? There's a delay, right? Quick edit. So yeah, we think that'll be a good thing to do.
We can't promote drinking, but we can.
It's available.
It's available.
It is available and low key.
Yeah,
it's fun.
So yeah, so that'll be good. And yeah, other than that, what else we got going? I don't know what else we got going.
Bunker Buster for 40K?
No, yeah. Next Bunker Buster for 40K is going to be doubles. It is July. I think it's the last weekend in July or second last weekend in July. Probably last weekend in July. And then 2 weeks later is the Apocalypse. Then we go doubles again in September. And then we look to doubles, then we look to October for Twin Eagles. There'll be some kill team. We're looking at maybe doing a kill team event in there. We're also looking at doing another Age of Sigmar event, obviously. Yeah. So yeah, Age of Sigmar guys, if you're listening, there's a couple spots that might be popping up for this event. So make sure to message the page and get on that wait list, because once those spots are confirmed as open, I can reach out to you guys and get you in, because right now it is sold out, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Trying to build that up. Age of Sigmar is a finicky one, but apparently 2.0 is coming out and it's only $40.
Oh, that's
which is really cheap.
That. I mean,
so
it's refreshing from 40K.
So it'll be interesting to see what how that comes. But I know there's not a lot of new stuff. I think it's gonna be similar to the next 40K edition, just kind of condensing, cleaning it up, clarifying, getting all those clarifications there. But yeah, anything else you want to touch on?
No.
Are you doing any of the out of town stuff? Are you doing Renegade? Are you doing that one in?
Definitely think I'm going to make it out to Saskatoon.
Which one's that?
That's Bridge City Open.
Okay, when's that? It's soon, right?
No, I think that's middle of August.
Okay,
the
cool.
guys in the chat knows better than me.
Yeah.
I usually just get told when I'm going and I go.
You're going and you're gonna like it.
Yeah, don't think I'll make it out. I think there's a couple of guys who are going to try and make it out to Calgary there for the one out there, but I don't think I'll make that one.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely next will be probably Bridge City.
Cool.
And looking towards some of the other ones here. Don't know if I could find a crew yet. Maybe looking at LVO for the future.
This year?
This year, maybe.
You're at like 2020?
Yeah, like out down right at the end of the season. So.
Oh wow.
Maybe see if we can find a few who want to go by.
I actually reached out to go help with organizing. I don't think I want to play. I shouldn't say that. I definitely always want to play, but I definitely want that experience in bigger events, kind of see what it takes and stuff like that, and get some notes from guys that have been doing it for a while. So that was kind of my intent. But so I might be there, but we'll see.
It's a trip to Vegas.
Trip to Vegas, yeah. And that's the other thing, right? Like I can go with my girlfriend, and we can just kind of like if she wants to go, and we can actually just make a little trip out of it, and I just like take a few hours each day or whatever it is to go help set up, go help do stuff, and then bug her off for a bit. But yeah, so that's cool. That Vegas is great. Done that twice already, and I loved it both times. Like it is a marathon. Like it is more of a marathon than POW by a mile. But yeah. But without further ado,
I got a room in Vegas.
Oh, boom!
There we go. Right on. I'll hit you up on
Matty,
that.
you party too hard.
Too hard.
But yeah, so closing sponsors. So obviously, big thank you to Game Night Games Cool Stuff here in Osborne locally. They are our presenting sponsor for 2019 and 2020. So they have all the bells and whistles. They've got game supplies. They've got space to hobby, stuff like that. So thank you guys. Frontline Gaming and oh my goodness, where are you? Frontline Gaming, and are they not on here? Oh, Best Coast Pairings, there you are. So they're in collaboration. They help essentially run the IT. They run the ITC. They help run tournaments. They help provide a platform for organizers like myself to run events and make it so much easier. So thank you both. Northern Lights Terrain, again, local terrain builder, Byron, excellent guy to work with. Big into gaming in general, so anything you want to build for your army, for your tables, for any systems, for carrying cases, anything, talk to him. He will help you from start to finish. It is awesome. Manitoba Mulder Soldier Society, they helped us at Plains of War determine who was our best in show. They will be doing the same for Twin Eagles. And so big thank you to you guys for taking the time to come out and vote on our armies, and yeah, hopefully you guys didn't create too many impulse buys from coming around. I know that's a big thing. They're like, oh my God, there's so much stuff. So hopefully you guys didn't spend too much money, but thank you so much for that, and I look forward to seeing you guys at Twin Eagles. Holiday Inn, obviously where we hung out for the weekend, and they were great.
Place to rack out.
Yeah, they were great. Helped us out a lot, and that was excellent. So as long as they are still around, we will hopefully be there, provided we don't outgrow them.
Yeah.
Battle Foam, Romeo and the guys down in Arizona, thank you so much for everything you do. Great foam cases, pluck foam, custom foam.
Top-notch stuff.
It's
good. We pay a lot for these models, so I mean, whatever you can do to keep them safe.
Absolutely. They have, I've traveled with them everywhere, and those bags go through everything, which is awesome. Seam Engrave, all our plaques and our trophies, they're all come from him. He's a local guy. Chris, excellent to work with. Can't speak enough about him. Like, turnaround times are unreal. Price is very fair, so it's all good. I want that stuff. We spoke about him earlier. Corey and the guys out there in Brandon, huge supporters of pretty much everything.
Yeah.
And can't say enough. Awesome space, awesome guys. So if you're ever anywhere around Brandon or going through, make sure to drop in there, hit them up. They got a bunch of sales going on right now. I think there's a bunch of blowout stuff Corey does.
Yeah.
So make sure to pay attention to that. Also on that same note, Northern Lights Terrain has the same. They have a lot of they're doing a lot of sales on movement trays right now. So if you're looking for movement trays, any of you orc guys, guard guys, it's like 8 for the price of 5. So there's a good savings there.
I'll just jump in and plug on. I want that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
That's where it's my home place.
That's your jam, yeah.
Yeah, awesome game place to play. They got like 2-3 permanent tables always set up. Awesome train. Everyone's knowledgeable there. So if you have rules, talk to them. Awesome food. It's licensed.
Yeah.
So you can
yes, it
drink
is.
And play. I mean, yeah, you know.
Absolutely.
Good food, barbecue. It's Pork Floyd is in there.
What?
So there's like
That's
barbecue. New. Yeah, it's awesome.
Damn.
Get some like pulled pork poutines, some sliders. some pretty unreal burgers.
We used to run an event out of there. One of the first couple years we were doing this, and I think that might need to be a thing again.
It's got some real good.
Get the meat sweats going.
Oh yeah. They're getting a hotel bill like right across the street now. Brand new
really?
hotel. I also noticed in the chat, Clancy was asking what army you should get with the new contrast paints. Orcs. Play some orcs there, Clancy.
Do it. Clancy, you'll have nothing but time out on the East Coast.
But no psychers, because you play enough psychers.
And last but not least, AYB Online. They do a lot of online e-gaming and stuff like that. But for us, they provide us with some of the equipment that allows us to run our stream, run the Dusty Auspex, and give you some better quality than arguably most that is on the net right now. So while we're still building our repertoire, I guess our equipment is still, I guess, not light years above the rest, but it's definitely in contention for what else is out there. So awesome. But so yeah, thank you to everyone, and also thank you to Maddie, Mr. Gray Fox over here, for jumping in and doing this, because I can't do it. There was no way that was going to happen. And also, thanks, Marcus. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate. We're glad the timing worked out. So that was perfect. But yeah, and I guess that concludes season 6, episode 11 of the Dusty Auspex here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Tell your friends, follow us, like us, give us reviews. Helps people hear about us. And yeah. Look forward to getting battle reports and stuff like that.
It's coming in September.
So be ready. That's it, guys.
Right on.
No closing. Just have a good evening. Thanks for tuning in, and until next week. Bum bum bum. Do 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 do.